One of the most difficult things about playing Smash Bros. Is dealing with your opponent's spawn invincibility. When you kill them, they come back on the angel platform and then they are invincible for a couple of seconds and you have to avoid them to not die. And today I wanted to give you some tips and tricks about dealing with the invincibility from the angel platform from one of the players that has had to deal with it for a very long time across a bunch of different games. And there are still a bunch of kind of through lines between all the different Smash games. So I'm going to be talking about my favorite things to do, what you got to think about when you are positioning yourself for this, and of course, in my opinion, what the best thing to do overall is against most characters. So let's go. So first things first, I do want to tell you that you are in disadvantage in these positions, right? There is no 100% way that you're never going to get hit because anything you do will either put you in a bad situation or your opponent can read it if you do the generally thought of safer options. So there is no 100% guaranteed way to never get hit in these positions. That's why it's good. That's why you see top players lose to spawn invincibility, or they get a lead and then they lose their lead immediately. That's going to happen. There is no surefire way to get around this, and I don't want you to think that there is. However, there are a couple of things that you have to think about. First off, you have to obviously try to avoid your opponent. And the best way to do this is to think of two things. One, are they good at ledge trapping or keeping you in the corner? And two, are they good at juggling? Sometimes the characters are good at both, sometimes they're good at neither. So basically what you want to do is pick which of those is the lesser of the two evils, right? So you think, okay, they're not that good at ledge trapping me, and they are very good at juggling. Think of a character like Ike, right? Ike has really scary above you options with up air and of course baiting and air dodge to like landing there and then up air afterwards, so it's not super comfortable to be there, especially when you're at higher percents. However, he's not that good at ledge trapping. He kind of just has to guess or bank on like timing and F tilt correctly, which is a pretty slow move. So generally when you are at the edge against him, you are a bit more comfortable. Like not when you're off stage, of course, because then he has the eruption 2-frame, but those are the type of things you have to think about, right? So when you are fighting against an Ike, I would generally recommend just kind of like running to the corner, because one, he has to use time to get to the corner because Ike is not a particularly fast character, and then either jumping around here and then end up grabbing the ledge, or just immediately run off and grab the ledge anyway. His invincibility will run out and then you are in a ledge trap position. However, this is a normal ledge trap position and not an invincible ledge trap position, so in my opinion it's automatically going to be better than if you were to just like try to fight Ike here, like try to roll around or jump and air dodge or something, because those are a little bit easier to hit unless he already has a very good pattern or like a really strong, understanding of your personal ledge options, in which case he might hit you here, but again, probably better than getting hit by like nair up air or something like that. Of course, if you're a character with a projectile, you can always kind of like, good airspeed, you can always kind of jump around here and make that difficult. Try to have them cover platform because you can air dodge to platform and then you just kind of like air dodge to ledge. Make it a little bit more ambiguous for sure. And for the example I give right here of Mario versus Bowser, Bowser is a lot better at ledge trapping than he is at juggling, right? His ledge trapping consists of flame breath, it consists of up B, which can cover multiple options. His forward air is really threatening and covers a lot of space, but he's not that good at keeping you in the air, right? He has like run, pivot, up tilt, and that's going to be his best bet overall, and he definitely can get mixed up with directional air dodges as well as just like sometimes attacking down. And if you get up-E'd, not the end of the world. Getting hit by an up-E by Bowser when you are trying to deal with invincibility is generally not that bad. It's obviously better than getting hit by like a back air or a nair into back air or like a smash attack, of course. So sometimes you kind of just take whatever the less bad hit is, of course. But yeah, like generally against Bowser, I will probably stand here just so he has to run a little bit, and then I will jump around him to try to get him to attempt a juggle situation, since Bowser is not that good at dealing with a juggle situation. So again, the main thing you're going to have to do is really think about what the character you're fighting against likes doing, like what's their preferred advantage state. Sometimes it is having you above them, sometimes it's having you at the ledge, sometimes it's both. Good characters are scary, right? Like Steve and Sonic and Pika definitely like juggling and edge trapping. There's plenty of more characters like Rob. There are a lot of good characters like both, but still, depending on the percent, you then have to like weigh the risk reward of like, okay, if I'm fighting a Palutena, is it more likely that she's going to continually ledge trap me or continually juggle me? In my opinion, it's continually juggle you because her juggling is really good, so I would still probably go to the ledge. Something that's important to note is how much invincibility you get on the ledge is actually determined by how long you are in the air. So I would almost always recommend, if you can afford it, to jump off stage like this. before you grab the ledge, because if I just kind of run off and immediately upbeat the ledge, my invincibility is pretty good, but that's because I'm at 0, whereas if I kind of am off stage for a bit and then I grab the ledge, the invincibility is much longer, literally like more than a second longer, so you have plenty of time to think about what options you want to use or bait them to do something, and then you can like ledge hop aerial them or get up attack them if they like did a ground move too early, or of course just like whoops, roll around it. Of course, if you are a character that can safely go under the stage, this is basically always going to be the best option because your opponent literally cannot hit you here, and you basically are able to stall out their invincibility in entirety. And then for Pikachu, of course, you get a mix-up of right or left, which is already going to be strong. But yeah, basically it's the best anti-invincibility option in the game, is just to go under the stage, because you're never ever going to get hit there. It's quite literally impossible for basically any character to hit you. Same for Sonic, same for Steve, same for Yoshi can go into the stage, Puff can go into the stage. A little bit worse for the characters that, you know, it's a little bit slower, because then they don't have the mix-up, they can get 2-framed and stuff like that, but still, in most cases, getting 2-framed is better than getting like hard red on stage. Of course, you can't just risk whatever mix-up is, right? Like, there's plenty of people that do like double rolls when someone has invincibility, because you still have to read the roll and punish them. And sometimes if your opponent isn't in those like positions to punish, or they haven't shown you that they are willing to punish that, then it can be a pretty safe option to go for in general, just because, you know, you want to not get hit. So sometimes just mixing them up is really good, or like a dash, like a quick dash away roll in. Things like that can work, obviously, but they are riskier, because if someone just stands here and then charges forward smash the other way, or like turns around and charges up smash or something, you're gonna die a pretty low percent. Or you can just get like combo started, like, oh, they just read it, grab. And for Pikachu, that would be like a whole nair loop, you know what I'm saying? So that's not necessarily that good of a position. As long as you are willing to take that risk, go for it. But I did mention at the beginning of this video, what do I think the best option is for most characters that don't have the ability to go under the stage, or don't have like ridiculously good in the air positions, or ridiculously good anti-edge trapping stuff. So like no quick attack, no bouncing fish, no flip jump. What is the best option? In my opinion, it is this. And no, I'm not just meaning shield in general, I mean specifically shielding on platform. If a character has a command grab, this may not be true, right? Bowser, Mii Brawler, Wario, etc. They have command grabs, so they can actually hit you for shielding here immediately. But in general, a lot of characters have to poke you with an aerial, and the minute they hit your shield, you can just jump out of the way. I'm gonna have this computer hopefully try to hit me. But basically when they approach, I'm gonna do this, and then you just jump away, right? In order to grab you, they would have to jump up here, land, and then grab you, which is a little bit more difficult, as opposed to when they do an aerial, you can kind of just like recognize that they did an aerial. Okay, Bowser's not trying to hit me, let me put the computer higher. So basically we do that and then jump away exactly like that. A lot of times people have lag, or they'll have to do a short hop aerial, which they have to like then land and do. You know, there's maybe some exceptions to this, like Steve up air in particular is a little hard to deal with. But also in general, I think if Steve up airs your shield, you can still jump away from it. It's just obviously a little bit riskier because it's Steve. Oh no, I'm dead as hell. Oh no. So you gotta watch out for big moves like that, shield break type moves. But again, you're just basically reacting to anything, right? Whether it hits your shield, you jump away. If they try to do something crazy, you can roll through and then get a punish. But basically, in my opinion, this is like the best version of the just jump away and get juggled, because you basically force them to do something immediately, and if they don't, you can literally just like run off the platform, or, you know, jump away, or do things that it's just like, okay, well, you aren't able to hit me anymore because now we're just playing neutral, right? So I think just like shielding here and then jumping, you can sometimes do it preemptively, but of course you can always get hit in jump squat or as you are rising by like a full hop up air, by like a Falco or something. And there are mix-ups, of course, your opponent can do, but generally this is going to be, in my opinion, the safest option overall. Just because, one, yeah, if they do something really stupid on your shield, you can just punish it a lot of the times, especially if their invincibility is gone and like waning, because they have to like, you know, they went here and they were like waiting and then they did something on your shield. You can sometimes punish it, especially if you have good out of shield options. But I do think that like standing up here and shielding is generally going to be really good, because again, there is the risk of just getting red and getting hit anyway, like, you know, every character has. Again, you are still in a disadvantaged position, so I don't want to be like, this will never ever get you hit. But this is the main ledge option I do when I am not playing Pika and I can't just go under the stage. Why did they flame breath like 6 times in a row? That was really weird, because basically it allows you to just like see what they're doing. You take some shield damage and then you can end up either getting a punish, or you are able to just like get away from the situation entirely, which in my opinion is the best thing you can do, because again, in this position you are in disadvantage, so it's unlikely that you will be able to guaranteed get anything anyway, and it's not guaranteed that you will be able to like just not get hit in general. So I think it's like the biggest risk mitigation. This is what I do all the time. It kind of is crazy to me that more people don't do this, because like they'll just opt to jump early anyway, but you might as well hold shield first, because you literally are like getting rid of an entire mix-up that they have to do in order to get a kill on you, and I think that that's just like a little bit foolish. Like in that position, you can just get away, or you can even punish that down smash, right? That literally was the invincibility, so you know, if you are able to read that, especially like you don't have to necessarily go to the platform immediately. You can kind of like start here and then jump up here and shield, and the likelihood that your opponent will be able to like read that and hit you before you get to platform, if they're not like Sonic or Mythra, who are super fast, is pretty unlikely. Oh, I wanted to run up air. But again, you can just be here, kind of just like wait, and then again, jump away in those positions if you notice that they're going to go for you early, and then you're literally in a good position after that. So yeah, as always, like if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'm willing to read and answer questions here for sure. Whoops, I didn't up smash in the right direction. But I do think that like invincibility is like one of the more underlooked at places in the game. I feel like people just like haven't honed in on this enough, and then take a lot of damage in the middle of it. And I definitely think that it is a lot easier to get around stuff than you would think. You just have to think about it a little bit. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to talk about any specific game situations that are difficult for you, of course you can let me know, and I can make videos about that. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all, did I already say that, next time. Peace.